Hello. Um, this is not a makeup video. Um, this is something that I need to talk about because it's weighing very heavily on my soul today. So, up front, uh, this is not the most pleasant topic. This is not the most pleasant type of video, but I know damn well in my heart of hearts that there are so many people that know exactly how I feel. So, trigger warning. We're going to talk about fertility. We're going to talk about miscarriages. We're going to talk about blood and the fear and anxiety that many women experience after dealing with these topics or having their own personal experiences. This is not the most pleasant video, like I said. But when so many people struggle so much and can't talk about it for whatever variety of reasons there are, all of which are valid. But, it's difficult to talk about, and it's not something that people want to discuss for obvious reasons. But when something is felt so deeply by so many people, it some of us need to talk about it. Some of us need to talk about it. And today's that day for me. So I talk about being diabetic a lot, usually in a joking manner or a passive comment or something. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I was diagnosed at 27. My pancreas shut down at some point that year when I was 27. And unfortunately, statistically, diabetic pregnancies are a little bit more complicated, we'll say. The fertility of a diabetic person is a little bit more complicated, we'll say. I for many people in my life who are at a different level of health, we'll say. I want to be respectful. I don't want to just say like they're healthy because it's like everyone has something. That's life. But people who are on a different health level than me are afforded the opportunity to have oopsie babies. Now, obviously, it's like a jokey, cute term for children that were not planned. And a lot of people in my life, their children are oopsie babies. It happens. It's, life is life, as I said. And nothing haunts me quite as much when it comes to planning a pregnancy, researching how to plan a pregnancy when you're diabetic. It takes away that. Sorry, I don't know why I'm yelling. It takes away that feeling of like the simple joy of an unplanned pregnancy, like this, when you're happy about it. Obviously, everybody's different. But people who are afforded that just, if it happens, it happens. There's something about that I feel that was robbed from me. I really do. It haunts me in a very specific way, especially when, like, you know, so and so announces their pregnancy on social media. You know, you don't know everyone's story. That's obviously true. Some people plan, some people don't, and that's okay. But the reality of how calculated I have to be as a diabetic person planning for something like that, how calculated and how it feels like almost, because then obviously you get the advice when you actually start trying, you get the advice of, don't stress over it, don't think about it, it'll happen, which is fine. I'm trying so hard not to sound bitter, I'm sorry. But the people who say, don't think about it, relax, if you don't focus on it so much, it'll be easier. Like, basically just people telling you to chill out. And I'm sure there's some validity to it, but it just hurts. Cuz it's like, you know what? I fucking wish I could chill out. I fucking wish I didn't have to plan it. Like, I wish I didn't have so much fucking anxiety about it. Like, that would be great. You know? There's so much pressure on the situation when obviously before I was diabetic, it's like it was like whatever, if it happens, it happens. But being diabetic now, um, and just how much fear there is, blood sugar goes crazy and like you have to monitor it militantly and oh, you may have to go to the hospital a couple times and oh, be careful of preeclampsia. It's like it almost becomes too medical perspective wise. It takes away the joy of being able to just let go and just, let nature do it. It takes that away. And it feels very, in some ways, like I said, even though it sounds bitter, I guess I do mean for it too, but I feel robbed of a more natural process. I feel robbed of not having the heavy fear. I when it comes to sorry, your first miscarriage will always stay with you, no matter how many you have, whether one's worse than the other, or you only have one. It's that first one is uncomparable. I didn't know I was pregnant until it was too late. And even then, it was I only found out that it was what it was later. Well, not super later, like, a day or two later, because I was doing some research into what I experienced. And I was lucky enough to where it was like super early. So it was really just the amount of blood and the contents were in, and just not feeling right at all. And, but it was not as not as bad as it could have been, which is such a strange thing to say. I'm sorry. But that pain, primarily physical, but obviously also the heaviness of the emotional, but that pain really stays with you. And uh, full transparency, I have my period now, and I have a very complicated relationship with my period. On the one hand, I am grateful to have it because there are women who don't get their period, therefore, their fertility journey is different. But I am grateful that I still get my period. I'm grateful that whatever. I'm grateful that my body functions in that way still. And I also hate it because even though the pain of a miscarriage is not comparable to period pain. Um, Actually, I shouldn't say that because perhaps for some people it is similar. For me, it's not. Um, but it's almost like a cruel reminder every single month. Like there's just a little voice in the back of your head that's like, remember that? And there's a lot of baggage that comes with the trauma of, that time of the month when you've experienced a miscarriage. It's like for me at least, the visuals are triggering. It's like, oh, I'm just going to change my pad really quick. Oh, it's very, and it's been quite some time. It's been a couple years and I still feel this way. Um, I have had more than one miscarriage, but I don't feel comfortable disclosing much more than that. I'm already oversharing beyond, but that's what this is. That's what this is for. Because like I said, I know damn well my story is not one of one. It's not. Miscarriages are common in both healthy and different levels of healthy. The I know so many women that are at a different health level than me, and even they've experienced at least one. It happens. It is life. It is a natural part of life. It happens. You know, and that's the other reason it's frustrating that people don't really get to talk about their experiences or their pain and share it. That's kind of what I'm trying to do with whatever this video is. Um, Podcast special dropped. Anyway, I apologize. Miscarriages are extremely common across all walks of life. And to deny that or like shut it down and not talk about it when, like I said, it's been a couple years for me, and it's like every period is a reminder. It's a very specific kind of disappointment, especially when you are so set on having a baby despite your health issues or despite your level of health. It's it's just a very special kind of disappointment when you get your period. And I say that as someone who's not currently trying, just because I'm just not at that level. I'm not at that safe spot yet as far as my A1C and, you know, so I'm not actively trying, but I also attribute that. I say it's my A1C, but my A1C is at a very fixable place. The real fear for me lies in the amount of effort. Going back to what I was saying about oopsie babies and me feeling calculated and frustrated and, just so much fear. I know for a fact I want to have a baby. Like that's not the debatable part. It's the fear, you know, that fear of just, what do I have to do? What's my timeline? Will I need medical help? Will the pregnancy last? How many losses will there be in the process? You know, what is my body going to do? Will I have to be scared all the time? Will I have to not be able to enjoy my pregnancy because I'm just going to be sick and full of fear the whole time? Like, I feel robbed of the joy that I feel every pregnancy deserves. That joy, that determination, that love, that excitement. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be this bitter the whole time. This is purely how I am feeling at this very moment in this period of time. I'm so focused on the fear. And obviously, it will be very exciting the day I overcome it. I expect to overcome it. I truly do. Because, like I said, I want to be a mom more than I want to fucking breathe air. Like, I've wanted for a very long time. And I'm finally at a point in my life where it's within reach, you know? And because it's so close, it's also feels horrifically far away because of the anxiety and the worry and the work that will have to go into it, and how much of myself do I have to fix? Not mentally, but like, you know, bring my A1C down a little bit more, possibly have medical help for conception, trying to take better care of myself, trying to get rid of all my vices and believe in myself enough to put in that effort and that work that I'm so fucking afraid of. Because I know there are many women who have the story of, I fought for this and it didn't happen for me. I know there are women with those powerful stories, and I don't want to be one of them. And again, I don't mean that in any disrespect whatsoever. I just, I know what I want, and I want to have a child of my own. I want to give birth with this body, regardless of how beaten and broken it is. I know what I want, and I'm just very scared of not getting there. And I know my first step has to be self love because, a lot of people, for various reasons, usually like physical appearance, but a lot of people say they hate their body. But there's nothing more reality shattering than losing control of a healthy body. I was not diabetic until I was 27. Um, I lived a good chunk of my life with a healthy body. And then all of a sudden, it was like, the wheels were falling off the bike, and I just, it's sad to hate yourself when it's not really your fault. Um, and especially after experiencing miscarriages, it's like it's this loss of control that just kind of breaks you a little bit, even more. Um, Even though, like I said, miscarriages are extremely normal and should be normalized to discuss them, so on and so forth. But regardless of how normal and part of nature it is, it doesn't make it any less traumatic or intense of an experience in general. Um, oh dear, I fear I've lost the train of thought a little bit. Give me a moment. It's like I'm simultaneously trying not to like openly cry and also try to get my thoughts together because I lost one. Um, oh yes, hating my body when I shouldn't. But it's, I really need to work on my self-love because I've grown to hate this body. And that's not fair. That is not fair at all. You know, does it work the way it used to? No. Has it experienced a lot? Yes. Does it work properly? No. But god damn it, it's so beautiful to be alive. It's so beautiful to be alive, even if it's not perfect. Like I said, it's like my period is a fucking nightmare every month, and I'm still grateful that I have one. I'm tired. I'm tired of not being able to be grateful for my body. And I don't mean physical appearance. I don't mean, I just mean functionality and gratefulness of life. Because I feel like having that gratefulness is the only way I'm going to be able to successfully approach the fertility stuff. Because at the end of the day, it's like, it's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's you. We get the body we get, and that's it. You know. And no, I don't want to put my body in a robot or my consciousness in a robot, even though there are people who are down for that. And I have so many questions for those people. Sorry. But and going into the anxiety of like, if I need medical help for conception, it's like, who cares? Fucking do it. Who cares? Who cares how? You know? I feel like I get hung up on the wrong things because I'm in that weird phase of like, well, it's not fair. Like when I was bitching about the oopsie baby thing earlier, it's like the how and the why don't fucking matter. All that matters is that end result. All that matters, is being able to get there. Whether it's believing in yourself in overcoming and believing in yourself in just however you have to fight that battle. It's like, just get there. And that's what I have to remind myself when I get in this phase of just being so negative, just because I'm scared. You can't, no good situation starts with negativity. No, you're not going to succeed if you're running in place and not focusing on the right things. And I just really want to get there. I feel very behind in life, and I'm not. I'm not behind in life. Like, there's no such thing, truly. There really isn't. But I do feel it at my age. I told myself 2 years ago, I believe, that I wanted to be pregnant by my 33rd birthday. I considered that a goal. I considered that um that was the timeline I gave myself. I was like, life will get better, I'll get better, blah blah blah. That birthday is coming up in December. It's currently July. And I think about the fact that I don't think I'm going to reach that goal. I don't see it being a possibility. And that is also a little I'm very disappointed in that. However, I will say I've experienced a lot in the last 2 years, good and bad, and I'm totally fine with everything so far. It's not like they were like horrible years and that's why. No, it's just I lived 2 years of my life, and I will say the fact that my A1C is ridiculously close to what they want it to be for my fertility journey to begin. Um, I will say it is cool that my A1C is at a much more reasonable point to meet a goal like that. I'm so close. And honestly, that made me feel really good when I got that blood work back. It's like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm so close. Um, that puts some excitement into the sadness. But as I said, it's for me, it's more that fucking fear. The fear of the effort, the fear of the pain, the fear of the battle. Will I get there? And I feel like that's going to be much more of a challenge to overcome than the physical challenge of it. Weirdly enough, it's like I have to defeat the fear to start the battle. It's very odd thing to think about, I guess. Water break. How long have I been rambling? 32 minutes. That's not bad. Like I said, it's my my fear and anxiety and experience. It's not a one of one story. I know there are some of you out there that know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. You know exactly what pain I'm talking about. You know exactly what disappointment I'm talking about. Uh, I see you, and I hope you see me too. Um, don't don't spiral when that random person on Facebook posts a picture of their fucking ultrasound. Like, don't spiral. Don't blame yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Don't say why not me? When it's okay, and believe me, I get it. But don't sweat that shit. You don't know what she had to do to get there. She doesn't know what you have to do to get there. And the jealousy stuff, oh my God, do not feel alone in that jealousy, that anger. I get it. I do it every time. Every time so and so announces they're pregnant, every time so and so posts the hospital newborn pictures because they gave birth like 6 hours ago. Like I know. Every Pinterest baby bump photo shoot, I know. I know. It hurts so fucking bad every time. I know. But bitterness and jealousy are not part of manifesting it for yourself. They're just not. You don't you don't want that for you. So don't want it for somebody else. Don't don't put that bitterness don't put that bitterness inside yourself. You don't deserve it. You don't deserve it. You deserve to heal. And you deserve to have hope. And you deserve to believe in yourself because you're not. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just, it is hard. It's really hard. When you want something so fucking badly and it comes easily to others and not to you, I get it. But don't put that bitterness inside yourself. Just don't. Let it, feel it and let it go. You have to let it go. No, no good story starts with you going into it negatively. You have to have that hope. It's so important. I wouldn't be sitting here fucking bitching if I didn't still have hope. I know I keep talking about the fear, and because it's there, it's very much there, strong. But just because the fear is strong doesn't mean that the hope's not there. You deserve hope. I deserve hope. And it's like, that's why I keep saying, like, when I'm going to start the battle, because I know I'm going to get it done and I know I'm going to be a mom and I fucking know. But, that's the good thing, that I still feel that hope, even though the dread and the fear are so fucking loud. It's like, yeah, okay, I'll get over it because I have to. I have to. And that's, as far as I know, what the beginning of my journey looks like. Self love and a lot of hurdles to jump mentally, you know? But it's like, if I got to do mental gymnastics to get there, it's like, watch me do a back bend, bitch. I'll get there. I know I'll get there. So, yeah. Like I said, I'm not the only one that feels this way. I know it. You know it. You watching, you've had some kind of experience. I know it, whether it's completely different than mine or whatever. It's like, it is such a human experience, this pain. And we should be able to talk about it, and we should be able to share and cry and laugh and compare. And it shouldn't be so taboo. It shouldn't be so unacceptable to talk about such a universal experience. Um, I lost another train of thought. Ah. Um, I'll probably wrap this up as best I can here. Regardless of where you are in your uh, life and how you choose to live it, we'll say, just always make sure you're taking care of yourself throughout whatever it is. Don't lose yourself in your demons, and don't give up just because it's hard. You know,
I think I got nothing. I think I'm done. I think I'm done.
Thank you.